The Supreme Being touched the heavens. The preacher was the old shaman Tin Kong. Fellow students, hello everyone. Recently, there are some fellow practitioners. Ask me. Explained the Supreme Lord's response to the sky one more time. Was brought to public television for broadcast. This is a good deal. However, the relaxation time is also relatively long. Recently we began preaching the Esho Sutra strictly. Immeasurable Sutras of Setagarbha Sutra. Teaching these 3 sutras at the same time is already a lot. I feel like the weight is too heavy, so think back and forth. I took advantage of half an hour this morning. We planned for 23 months. We'll explain this process completely. This process is actually very important. At the end of the millennium, at the beginning of the nationalist period, seal the master, especially full of joy. This Dharma, the end of the Qing dynasty, seal the master, is at Puchuo Mountain. At that time, the mind merged with the high. The Qing dynasty called it Tri-District. Went up the mountain to pay homage to the great master. Went to Dinhai district to preach the terrifying Dharma. The master is from Sun Te with a very strong local accent. Therefore, there's a language barrier. He immediately sent another magician. Came to Dinhai to preach the sutras. What sutra does the shaman preach? It seems to be teaching Zhuan Emperor's Yin and Yin text. Historical documents can see these documents. Is very surprising. The local chief invited a shaman to lecture on the sutras. But the shaman does not preach Buddhist scriptures but teaches Taoist scriptures, especially a lifetime of trying hard to be happy. Types of books like Lu Fan To Huan, Heavenly Induction, that's why later generations criticized ancestral seal a lot. This is all the knowledge of ordinary people. In Buddhism, I think there are many fellow practitioners. Everyone knows this saying. The individual preaches the Dharma without any law. Perhaps someone has heard another saying, which Dharma is not Buddhism. Let's try to think about what these 2 sentences mean. In reality, the so-called worldly Dharma distinction is the same as Buddha's Dharma. Differentiate from your mind. But in Dharma, there is nothing that is worldly. Dharma, and throughout. Worldly Dharma is from your heart that separates out. If your mind has delusions of discrimination and attachments, then that is called worldly Dharma. Even if you study the Buddha's teachings in the strictest way, then that is also worldly Dharma. Because why is that because it is not out of the three worlds. If we leave behind delusions of discrimination, then all dharmas can all bring about birth and death in the three realms. So which Dharma is not Buddha Dharma? We need to clearly understand this principle. Yesterday, we went to visit Catholicism. There was a gentleman who asked me a question. In Christianity, it is called the soul. If after all the Dharma nature that Buddhism talks about, so where is the difference? I told him simply, having false thoughts and distinguishing attachments is called a soul. Attachments, it is called Dharma nature. He immediately understood and was able to accept it. Is it the same thing or not? It's just one thing. But one thing is that there are different attachments. The other is to leave discrimination. There is discrimination and attachment. Then all dharmas have obstacles. If you leave discrimination and attachment, all things will come together. So we must know. The emptiness of the Dharma realm, all sentient beings, is a Dharma nature. The Echo-A Sutra strictly states that it is a Dharmakaya. The Buddhas of the 10 directions and 3 generations share the same Dharma body. Those of you who have heard this saying already know it by heart, have the same Dharma body. Think about it. Is there any Dharma that is not Buddha Dharma? So the CO induction may be an exception. Is also Buddhism. Let alone the induction of natural and musical qualities from start to finish. Every sentence, every word is a presentation of the 5 precepts and 10 virtues. The 5 precepts and 10 virtues in Buddhism are the basic Dharma. If he leaves the 5 precepts and 10 good deeds, no matter what method you practice, an evil path. Regardless of whether you are a beginner or an arhat, if you leave the 5 precepts and 10 good deeds, then you are practicing an evil way. So how can it be called Buddhism? 5 precepts, 10 virtues. I want to preach to perfection. Teach reality. Then respond to natural and musical sounds. Is a good curriculum. Especially at this current stage of ours. Master, you have seen it very clearly, this world. There are riots and accidents. If you want to save this accident, there is only one method. That is, do for all sentient beings. True enlightenment, true enlightenment. Abandon evil and cultivate good. Whether this accident cannot be completely resolved, but also makes accidents less severe. Accident time is shortened. We confirm this can be done. Fellow practitioners in Taiwan, come ask me. Right in the middle of the Great Tribulation, can Taiwan be avoided? I told them. Confirm it is okay. The Taiwanese people are very guilty. But think about it. Since when did Taiwanese people start creating pity? It's just 25 recently. You guys remember watching it 25 years ago in Taiwan. Taiwanese people are very disciplined and maintain rules. If it comes to 35 first, Taiwan's atmosphere can be said to be the best in Southeast Asia. A person's heart is pure and kind. The poor Taiwanese have been in the past 25 years. This social climate has completely changed. Even if it causes pity. But the poor creator, not so much. The time is not considered too long. What's more, Taiwanese people recite Buddha's name a lot. There are also many kind-hearted people. So even if there is a tribulation, it won't be very big. The Japanese people commit very serious crimes. It can be said to be extremely heavy. When they encounter great tribulation in the future, they will receive retribution. Must be 10 times heavier than Taiwan. This is what we say from this principle of induction. In good causes, good results are obtained. Creating evil deeds will definitely result in evil retribution. This is the truth of induction. So press the nest extremely hard to be happy. These 3 books. This is true wisdom. Save the world's disaster. Master, you have worked hard all your life to be happy. Real person. Understand not much. The ancestor has passed away. There are even fewer people who can succeed him in this great kingship in 1977. First time. I accepted the invitation from Hong Kong fellow practitioners. Come here to preach the Langain Sutra. That time I stayed in Hong Kong for a relatively long time. Stay for 4 months. First 2 months, I am at the Chinese Buddhist library of Master Tianho. 2 months later at the Old Monks Monastery is the Quang Min Lecture Hall of the Lamb Path. I saw it at the library, bibliographies. Published by Master Seal Official, no Hong Ho fake. There they collected a lot. I'm with the group. Have a very close relationship. We have a monk relationship, my teacher. The old layman of Lai Bin Nam is a student of the ancestral seal. I respect the teachings of the ancestor, as well as books published by Hom Ho Commune. I naturally have very deep feelings. In this small library, Hong Ho Commune's books were kept. I've seen it all. Should discover these 3 books. Is the Celestial Induction. An Anne's complete book in Lu Fan General's Yuan. It's been royally printed a lot. The book is also very well printed. Chinese Buddhist Library. The number of books stored is not small. I also took some. Take a copy of everything and bring it back to Taiwan. I looked at the back of the copyright papers for these 3 books. Minimum print quantity of each copy is 10,000 volumes. At most 50,000 volumes. And how many times has it been reprinted? I have too many statistics. Has it been printed? Printing number of 3 of these books exceeds more than 3 million volumes. This surprised me greatly. Hong and printed other bibliographies. There are only 1,000 copies of each copy. 2,000 copies only. Because why are there so many of these types of books printed? This sparked my attention. I calmly thought carefully. The ancestors were heartbroken and wanted to save this disaster. Save this disaster. Then these types of books are very good. Today, my fellow students, found in many bookstores everywhere, there are books about words. Ancient Western prophecy. Moreover, there are many types. I see there are up to 10 types. Are all mentioned. Is the end of this world of great tribulation. Destructive. Moreover, the duration of this tribulation is very long. Roughly, it should last more than 25. This more than 25 years started from 1999. Probably not until 2010. Only then will this accident be considered surmountable. But these books are from the West. Just say there are these accidents. Said this accident. It is because sentient beings create many evil karma. God is angry, so He wants to punish the people of the world. I want to rebuild this world from scratch. This concept of fate. It's far from equal to Lu Fan's 4 trainings and heavenly because induction. These books have a method of salvation, and they only point out the calamity. Without any measures to save it. In Western prophecy, there's a type Bible called code. This is better than Cao Min's prophecy. Inside the final conclusion. It's because of the human mind. The human mind can return. Then this calamity can be resolved. But I only said one sentence like Jung. How to recover. How to abandon evil and practice good. It is not specifically stated. Still far behind. Compared to of these types of books. Whether it's talking about reason or whether it's talking about things, everything is said very clearly. Realistically speaking, we become enlightened too slowly. It is also a blessing for the sentient beings of this world. A little less. Because Ao Sao says we become enlightened so slowly, not translate books into foreign languages for circulation worldwide. We do not understand this vitality. If in the world circulates in books can be translated large into many languages worldwide, there will be benefits for this whole world. This is where we have not yet realized Raya. Now I know it's really too late. However, even if we lose the cow, to build a stable, we still have to do it. We hope everyone is willing to take the fullest potential, translate it into a foreign language. For circulation worldwide. Who has enough faith to read these books? Is a blessed person. Furthermore, we also have a responsibility and mission. Advise everyone to chant alone. Receive and maintain the teachings of Feng Han. One's own karma, but can also stabilize society, help all living beings of this world, be exempted from disaster. So that year after I returned from Hong Kong, I was happy in Taiwan. This is the first time I in. Nguyen touched Thien Hoi Bien. Up to now, it has been reprinted several times in total. At that time, roughly the total number. Also nearly 100,000 copies. Our capacity is limited. This is the celestial induction. And an Anne's complete book by Willow Fan Tuong. I went down to translate. Moreover, these I've preached it several times already. I don't remember how many times. When I taught Heavenly Induction, I used this book. So inside the book there are circled and dotted places. There are notes in the book. All important places have been marked. This is the book that I used a few days ago to lecture in the past. When fellow practitioners came to ask me to explain again, I went looking for this book. If you can find it again, it will save you a lot of effort. Because when I preach, I don't need to prepare anymore. I hope fellow practitioners will take this issue seriously. The truth is to cut off all evil and practice all good. The group uses THREE types of books to compensate our flawed precepts. Buddha recitation method. The Venerable Patriarch often teaches us knowledge of Buddha's precepts. Reciting Buddha's name without upholding the precepts. If you do not do good deeds, you cannot be reborn. The ancients said, the mouth chants amitabha, the mind is scattered. A sore mouth and sore throat is just a waste of effort. So the most important thing is to keep a good mind. Speak good words and do good deeds. Final conclusion of induction bias. This is also the conclusion here. Your mind is good, your words are good, in the divine, actions are good. Induction, it is said that you will be protected by good spirits. In pure Buddhism, it says friend. Only by reciting Buddha's name can one be reborn. In today's world, there are many accidents. If we encounter an accident, you should not be afraid. Yesterday, we visited the nursing home. We saw about 20 people. These elderly people have terminal cancer. I said to the nuns here, for these elderly people, it is necessary to give them hope. Don't let them feel sad. Religious education should be used to enlighten and guide them. Humans do not die. The so-called birth and death, that's normal. Is our transition to another situation, causing their concepts to be transformed. Then they take life and death lightly. Their minds will be calm. This is the turning point. We will move into a better situation. We will have a better life. So religious education is very important. They also take care of children. These disabled. Children need guidance. Especially the elderly must do the same. How could I be negligent? The elderly need to be given special instruction, often have to visit and comfort them. Is as important as teaching young people. These elderly people need someone to talk, someone brings to them regularly this great principle to them. Help them escape the suffering of birth and death. If you are a student of Buddhism, definitely advise them. Pray to be born in the Western world of bliss. Are Christians, you also advise them to pray to be born in heaven. The way of heaven is far superior to humanity. This is education. It's not just about helping with material life is definitely indispensable. The entertainment aspect must also be enhanced. The nuns told me yesterday, for entertainment purposes. There are also some young people who come here to sing and serve. Perform for them to see. What else do you say these old people don't like to hear? If old people listen to these songs, they will feel disgusted. How could they possibly hear it in their ears? The feelings of the elderly. You need to play songs from 35 years old or earlier. Then they will like to listen to 45 songs after they heard it. These articles. When they hear it when they are young, their hearts will immediately be moved. Will be very different, I said, than they think Ray. I say you need to find these things. Current CA representations. Old people don't like to watch. So let them watch ancient Kyoju plays. When you brought these things, they immediately rejoiced. They were people of that era. You have to use things from that era, and they will immediately adapt. This is something we all have to think about. Need to often talk to the elderly. What do they like? We give them what they hope for. This is truly taking care of the elderly. Let the elderly be happy. in order for them to live truly freely. Like that, yesterday, I also told the person responsible. The layman said we would. Try our best to find old songs. Find our plays. If I find these tapes, I will immediately give them to them. There are many Chinese among them. This method can be said to be done. The act of eliminating evil and cultivating goodness. I see that this little book of ours has a lot today. We can all use this little book. This is the Supreme Heaven's Touch. I just took a look. They only printed 1,000 copies, which is very small. This book is a very good read. It's very convenient to carry, and we should read it often. At the back, there's also a text bone to make the sound. These two things are inside. This book is very ideal. So in the next 2-3 months we will take half an hour of breakfast. Study this little book with everyone. Fellow students, today, let's start together. Studying the Supreme Heaven's Touch. Astronomy, this chapter. Not very long either. There are just over 1,300 words. The title is called Heavenly Touch. Your Majesty, these two words is a reverend, very deep implications. Buddha, Bodhisattva, because we preach the sutras and speak the Dharma, is completely emanating from self-nature. So it's not for someone to say, if we suppose that the Buddhist scriptures are like what Kamone Buddha said, then wrong. In many sutras we see, Buddha himself said that he had never preached a sutra in his entire life. He had never said a single word in his entire life. This statement is the truth. Not modesty. It's not an arbitrary thing to say. Ordinary people are attached to me. So when we talk about Dharma, we say it is. I say or you say, he says. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are selfless, the Diamond Sutra says very clearly. Not only is there no living being, no human, no life, no night, but even the concept is absent, called egoless view, the view of no human being, the view of living beings, the view of no life, interpretation, the view of no body. Not only is there no attachment, there are no ideas at all. Where do you come from to say that? Is an emanation from the true nature. True nature is not another person's true nature, but our own true nature. We must understand this principle, flow of self-nature. This is true. But if from the conscious mind, consciousness belongs to the individual, then this statement cannot be trusted. Saints in this world. In Buddhism, it is often said that the mind understands the nature. See your nature and become Buddha. The world also has saints. Do these people have enlightenment or not? Whether to become a Buddha or not, Buddha has the means to speak to the saints of the world. Cannot yet see nature. This is a rude statement. Speak the truth. In the Mahayana Sutras, said a lot. Tathagata Buddhas. Transformation in the world depends on the type of incarnation. Speak Dharma at any opportunity. How? Know that they are not Tathagata Buddhas. Incarnation appears. Previously, some people said that Confucius was a bodhisattva. Someone came to ask me. They asked if this statement was trustworthy or not. We follow the answer. The master's routine cannot be limited to yes or no. Because you say he is a bodhisattva, I can't find any evidence. So we can't say it arbitrarily. If you say he is not a bodhisattva, speaking from principle, it is also possible for bodhisattvas to transform in the world. If you really enter the realm, then all living beings. Is there anyone who is not a bodhisattva? Is there anyone who is not Tathagata? So on this title, it's the same. The original text is also like that. As the opening, the two words Tai Thuong are mentioned. We fellow Buddhist practitioners should understand clearly, mention these two words, is the outlet of the death nature. Virtue is the supreme highness. In other words, we can explain that we can serve is to follow the virtue of nature. Following the virtue of nature is true goodness. Contrary to virtue, this is called evil. This is the supreme standard of good and evil, is the absolute standard of good and evil. These two words are mentioned here so that we must be alert. Cannot be neglected. The intention is here. Next is feeling and response. Have a cold. The ancients had an experiment. Just like farming, the response is to declare HOA of the result. Use these two words as the name for a literary work. Is to say, if there is a feeling, of course there will be a reaction. What morality is this? Touch are all based on their own nature, which arises Self-nature is everywhere. Everywhere today we talk about time and space. In self-nature there is no Ra. Time and space are one array. So if there is a feeling, there must be a reaction. On our bodies, we say that plucking a hair makes the whole body move. A tiny, insignificant strand of hair. If we stretch it out, then my whole body felt uncomfortable. You touch a hair. This is an unpleasant whole body cold. So you can know. Start thinking. Our words and actions. Don't think this is a small matter. Nothing. The slightest notion can also shake the emptiness of the Dharma realm. But we do not know or recognize Ray. Like a strand of dragon silk on our body, we pull out a strand of dragon silk, the whole body can feel it. Everyone knows this. This is our one body. But you cannot understand it. The emptiness of the Dharma realm, all living beings, is your own pure Dharmakaya. Are all one body, precisely because it is one body, so induction is inconceivable. If there is a feeling, there will be a response depending on the response. Induction can also be said to be a relationship of cause and effect. Sentient beings are human beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Long Thien and Demon God. They immediately responded. Understand morality. Understand the truth of this truth. You will understand. The old German saying is that if you plant melons, you will get melons. If you plant beans, you will get beans. This example has a very deep meaning. Tell us is, in good causes, good results are certain. In evil deeds, evil retribution cannot be avoided. All living beings from time immemorial up to now created Ray. There are few good people. There are many evil people. In this one lifetime, if we calmly think carefully and observe, seen all around us, many evil fates and few good fates. Good conditions promote our karma, promote our good conduct. Evil conditions increase the growth of evil thoughts, increase our negative actions. What kind of grass will there be in the future? That I myself am not very clear, very transparent or star. These are all ethics of induction. Ancient people often said, the nets of the sky are so vast that no matter how much ceiling there is no difference. These two sayings are also the ethics of induction. This is the truth, is the true reality. General platform of this work are the previous 4 sentences. Endless blessings. Only one person summons good and evil. The leopard is like a shadow depending on the shape. The following words are all developments of these 4 sentences. Just elaborate on these 4 sentences. When we study, we must grasp the principles of these 4 sentences. Start your mind to remember the words you created. Is it compatible with virtue or not? If compatible with virtue, then we can think like that. Can do so. If it is contrary to virtue, we must know that we cannot think like that, cannot say so nor do so. Buddha, above all the scriptures, teaches us especially the sentient beings of the Dharma era. If you want your karma to be successful, the first condition is to be close to good friends. Put this in first place. The Hinayana Sutra is no exception. We have previously read the Ananda Sutra, questioning the Buddha's fate. Above this sutra, first sentence, Buddha also told us to stay close to the Master. The Master is the good friend mentioned in the Mahayana Sutras, is good knowledge. Because ordinary people in the 6 paths, uncertain consciousness. This is what the Ksitigarbha Sutra said. Same as in the common proverb, near the ink, it's black. Near the light, it's bright. This sentence means that we ordinary people are certain, influenced by circumstances, influenced by the outside world. We can't do it. Scene changes at will. In reality, we are a mind that changes depending on the situation. So circumstances are very important to us. From ancient times to the present, the venerable patriarchs, those who truly practice, have the practice of concentration and wisdom. They can change realms. They are not transferred by the realm of existence, but they teach students. Teaching disciples still has to choose the situation. Why is that? Because these people are ordinary people. Cannot change realms. Will definitely be influenced by external circumstances. Therefore, it is impossible not to choose the situation. More in work. Choose a study situation. Then good friends are the first condition. You can often be close to good and knowledgeable people. Close to a good teacher. Being close to each other and being good friends. This is certain. There is help for your karma. In the story of Khao Sangha we see it. In the layman's story, it can be seen. From ancient times until now, great virtues. Close friends 10 years, 2035. Sometimes you won't be able to leave for the rest of your life. They have finished studying. You can leave the teacher. Why do they still refuse to leave? That is a good example for the next life. Next to the teacher. Become a teaching assistant for the teacher. Next, lead your fellow students to come later. Until the teacher is reborn and passes away. They just left and went to educate one direction. We look at the great patriarch from ancient times to the present. A lot of people do this. It is also true to carry out the teachings of the world-honored one. Unless fate is not enough. Then there is no need to be silver. But you also need to be yourself. True karma has achievements. Then you can leave. What is considered an achievement? In Buddhism, there's also a standard. Speak from the wisdom door. You can differentiate. True hope. Evil, right, wrong. Good and evil are harmful. Reality has the ability to perceive. The second condition is that you have concentration. Undisturbed by external circumstances. That is to say, one cannot be seduced by external circumstances. The outside is not attached to the appearance. The inside is not moved by the mind. These two conditions are met. Only then can you leave the teacher. These two conditions are not fulfilled. Leaving the teacher is very dangerous. Because inside you have troubles, outside you have problems. If you don't fight back, you will fall into trouble. But today the teacher no longer exists. We want to be close to good knowledge. But this world no longer has good knowledge. Then how? If I can find some people, the religion is like-minded. Everyone can study together. Encourage each other. Take the ancient virtue as good knowledge. I introduce to you. Take Amitabha Buddha as a wise man. Where is Amitabha Buddha in the Sutra of Immeasurable Life? In the pure land of the 5 sutras. Recite every day. Explain every day. Study together every day. Thus, we will not leave the good knowledge. I am here. Use the internet to make friends with fellow students. For everyone. Also get some benefits. Our distance. Although it is far away, it takes advantage of scientific and technical methods, so we don't have any distance anymore. We can also study together every day. These 4 opening statements must always keep it in mind to heighten our vigilance. Each person has their own retribution. Family has family retribution. National society until the world cannot escape this law. Today's society is in chaos. Insecure world. We know it is caused by the gate of karma. How can I resolve this disaster? Just need everyone to be enlightened. Understand these truths clearly. Resolutely turned back. Unite all evil and cultivate all good. Let go of your own self-interest. It's all for society. Because the sufferings of this life can be resolved immediately for sentient beings. Natural disasters and human disasters. It's all because of evil karma blocking Ray. Leave evil karma. Not just accidents. Made by man, Rai is no more, but the harms of nature are no longer there. Because Ao says as natural disasters are no longer like that. Because the Mahayana Sutras often say that the scene depends on the mind. Only by deeply understanding this principle. Only then will they believe. It's strange. This essay. The minor part of the track is very clear. The ancients divided it into several large segments that we can see. The orthogonal resolution in the orthogonal resolution is 10 segments. We are here to learn together. We also take it into segments. Just like the classics and teachings. Future when we preach. Where to preach, I will tell you clearly. Speak transparently with you so that you know clearly which paragraph is talking about what event. The opening 4 sentences are the general outline of the entire sutra, the general platform of the entire astronomical
Today's
chapter.
time is up.
We
Preach
will
here.
only Amitabha Buddha. Everyone, please carefully translate the Western layman's email address. vongtelayperson@gmail.com. Virtuous reader. Generate offerings from a virtuous Buddhist family. Respectfully make offerings. May all sentient beings believe in Amitabha. wishing to be born in the land of ultimate bliss. I vow to bring this merit to adorn the Buddha's land. Above, there are 4 heavy blessings below to save suffering. If anyone sees or hears it, all develop bodhicitta throughout this Samhogakaya, reborn in the land of ultimate bliss. Namo Amitabha Buddha.